What's up? What's up? I'm back. Um, I wanted to talk about spaces and understanding just how every space has polarity, and just kind of go with mastering the moment because in order to master the moment, bro, you really just have to be in tune with the spaces you're in, because I mean, literally, it fluctuates. The spaces we're in fluctuates for the most part, but literally just understanding which ones are the most repetitive, which ones you're seeing the most, and building from there and trying to be the most powerful you can in that polarity. Because at the end of the day, um, whenever we go into these spaces, we usually go into these spaces to find power within ourselves or use that power for ourselves, depending on what it is. Some spaces we go into for knowledge and wisdom, and we can use those. We can go into those spaces and extract certain information out, certain light codes out, and use that for ourselves for either wisdom, internal wisdom, or just a more powerful feeling in the sense of either if it's confidence or whatever. Just it is what it is. But I just wanted to get into understanding spaces and how when we go into spaces, bro, you gotta understand all spaces have positive, negative, and neutral. Honestly, but just like how you have to just how there's multiple people bringing in their spaces and the different spaces that's been around them all the time, and that they're constantly plagued by or constantly love or whatever that they're attracted to. We have those same spaces, and just as how fluent there's these many people are, there's just as fluent spaces out there. Because when you think about it, YouTube is the perfect example, Twitter is the perfect example, social media is the perfect example in showing what spaces you exist in. Because even with Facebook, you have certain groups that you can stay in. It's almost like Reddit. Like if you want like Harry Potter, this is a space you can exist in. If you like teen teen moms, like you can have a whole Reddit about that, and a whole world and people that just talk about that shit all day. There's many spaces out here in this world, and there's many spaces that are just useless and just distractions that I can't even necessarily call them useless, because if they're a distraction, that's a use. But they don't have any use as far as gaining power or keeping power or maintaining power. Some spaces are more positive, um, some spaces are more neutral, some spaces are more negative. They all have positive, negative, whatever, but some spaces have different benefits, whatever. And like just like they talk about, some spaces can be parasitic, just like how some people can be. Some people can be mutual. Some spaces can be mutualistic, just like how people can be. Some people can be symbiotic, just how some people can be. Where symbiotic, you don't really necessarily affect the other person, but you see benefit. And that's a lot of spaces. And it, I say it's a lot of spaces, but that's how most spaces are all built off of that foundation. And it gets it's almost like the mini verse, the multiverse, and how you can just tap into these different spaces at different times. If you're a shoe fanatic, there's ShoeCon, and if you're a comic fanatic, there's Comic Con, and if you're a sex addict, there's a Sexicon. There's many spaces you can absorb and be in tune or in sync with. And however you are, bro, like as far as this is what I'll say. We have the opportunity to shape the spaces we get attracted to, in the sense of the things that we constantly watch, the things that we constantly like. Of course, that goes with certain shit that resonates with us, but like I said, when you work with your spirit long enough and you can train it through certain methods and all different things, you can deprogram your old spirit from liking certain shit that you grew into loving and already formed habits in. So, what I was gonna say is, when you get to these certain spaces, or when you get the understanding how you can attract and keep certain spaces around you, or keep certain people around you, you start to cook with these spaces. Because like I talk about, when you have your mind, body, and spirit aligned, they start to do things that work in unison to that relationship. It's not an individual thing. Everything is kind of together. So it's the same thing with your spaces. So say if you got one space, basically I'm saying you'll want to have spaces that's similar, because if you not even similar, but all have some type of connection. Because if they're connected, they can work with each other better, versus you got a dead end as one of your connections type shit. So it's there, but it's not. It only has some benefit to it. It has a limited use or benefit. I don't know if I'm explaining it necessarily right, but maybe to come to maybe it won't. But as far as what I'm saying is like, so say if you're an athlete, the spaces that you'll want to be around, you'll want to be around people that's nutritionists. You'll want to have a nutritionist space. You'll want to have a psychological space because war and sports is damn near the same, and it is traumatizing, and it does almost take a psychotic to be in certain sports or be great at certain sports. So you need you want to have certain philosophy spaces. You also might want to have certain what else would you what other spaces that would you want in your life if as an athlete? You might want to certain investment spaces and shit like that. Versus another athlete, his spaces is Lamborghini magazine and newjewelry.com and like all the spaces that he love, all the spaces, because you gotta think about it. When you go into that jewelry space, it's gonna be a nigga there that can tell you and specify to 1,000,001 different points on why you should get this jewelry. Same when you go to a car dealership, then they're gonna break down that how to 1,000,001 pieces of how you should get that car. And that's how you kind of understand spaces, because I mean, let me not get there, but let me slow down. I'll get there later. But the reason that I was gonna say this, you know, these spaces are valid when you have somebody that can break it down. You can have a full conversation where there's an expert in that shit. Like there's a person that's existing in that shit, making money off of that shit. That's how you know it's a certain space, and that space can affect you or not. From the things that you're gonna talk about, from the things people gonna, when they see you wearing jewelry or they see you got a nice car, the things that people think you're gonna want to talk about versus whatever. If you're flashy and shit, people gonna have shallow conversations. If you read the book, people gonna naturally come up to you and want to have deep conversations because of the space that they see that you're in. And so same thing, you're gonna attract certain conversations, you're gonna attract certain experiences due to the spaces you're in. So if all you have is Lamborghini magazines, new jewelry weekly, IG models galore, and whatever fucking space I said earlier, all those spaces are pulling you different places that's not really conducive to your energy. Most of those things are all parasitic because they don't bring value back into your life. You're just giving value to those things. As far as jewelry, a jewelry can give you some type of value, but as far as it only goes so far. That shit is degrading by the second. I wouldn't say by the second. Jewelry's a little different. You can invest in jewelry. You can there's different things you can do with jewelry, but the Instagram, that's more of a parasitic. You can say that the jewelry is mutualistic, so that may work if you're doing it, if you're insuring it. So if you lose it, it's not just gone. Like, it's ways that the jewelry could become mutualistic. So I'm gonna just get on it, especially if you got gold and certain shit. Depending on what type of jewelry you got, but the IG model's parasitic, the Lambo parasitic, because they're how depreciating. All the spaces are not helping you necessarily be a productive athlete or a productive player because of the spaces that you're allowing yourself to be influenced by. The different experiences you're going to get in, like this different experiences that's going to come to you because the different shit you're attracted to. Versus when you go on to my Twitter or to my page, I had to stop. I low-key stopped following certain people just because it might have been sexual shit they post a lot, or it might just been shit that I don't necessarily agree with because I'm trying to focus my mind and I want to make sure the spaces I want to make sure the shit that truly affects my day-to-day shit is the most strongest spaces. So I start following stronger-minded people in or more like-minded people in the sense of the world that I want to be in. So I started following more spiritual people. I started following IG strippers. I started following more nature shit. I'm just saying, for just instance, like if you want to be spiritual, you follow a nature channel, you follow a couple metaphysics dudes, you're gonna follow a couple Gnostics dudes, you're gonna follow a couple Israelites, you're gonna follow a couple of everything, especially when it comes to true spirituality and nomadship. You're gonna follow a bunch of different things that all give certain insight and light codes and knowledge and shit. You're gonna follow, and you're going to start to receive certain experiences the more you become sucked into that world, because like I talk about, when you don't choose sides and you don't choose spaces, you're you're able to bring certain spaces aligned. You're able to bring certain things together. You're able to cook with more spice, or you're able to cook with more sauce. Same with like opposite of what religion do. With religion, they kind of keep you bubbled into that one space. That's why everybody hates religion for the most part. But we can make a religion out of being a nomad, and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you like the religion, the space of religion can be powerful, just as how powerful it is, and just how intrepid it can be. Like, that's the dangers with anything or any space in this world. Like, period. I will, this not necessarily correlate, but it correlates to a little bit when I talk about certain powers attract to certain negativities too. Or like I said, religion is just as powerful. It can be just as entrapping. Nigga, say if you was to meet Chris Brown, I talked about this before. Say if you was to meet the guy of your dreams, most likely it'll instantly raise insecurities. That powerful substance, that powerful being can also bring out the shit that make you feel powerless in a sense. And like I said, it's just the world we live in. Everything needs polarity. If you can have power, that shit, the same power that can help you, that same power can destroy you. If you got nukes, that same shit can be used to protect the world and keep shit in order. And the same shit that can knock everything out of balance. It just, with great power comes great responsibility, and that means great balance in a sense. When we talk about great responsibility, it's great balance and understanding what spaces truly bring, or what spaces, what attributes that space, or how much powerful that space is. It's different. When I say attributes, how powerful, it's different things from how draining it is to exist in that space, because some spaces may give you a certain amount of power, but it also may be taking that same amount of power back. So it might be giving the same amount of wisdom, but it may be taking about that same amount of taxes out. Like, you may, okay, I'm giving a what if scenario. I can't necessarily give a real example to this, but something may be giving you a certain amount of religion. I'm not saying it takes away church or Baptist church. I'm not saying they take away the same amount of money or whatever, but just to say they give you a certain amount of wisdom, then they ask for that same amount. They ask for that wisdom. The wisdom they give you, they ask for fees, in a sense. So they ask for what's this shit called? Not fees, but what is that shit called? Y'all know what the shit, tithes and offering. That wisdom that they give you, they want you to go use that wisdom to go make a certain amount of money to give back tithes and offering. Some people, tithes and offering might be a different percentage. Like, hey, your dues that you owe is way more than whatever. So, for instance, an OG, you a cripple or blood or some shit. An OG may give you some killer ass game, but then that nigga gonna ask you to go ride out with him on a drive-by type shit, which takes away from all that wisdom that you could apply for your own self. But that's when I kind of say certain shit, it may give you free game, but that game may also be, they might also be trying to take away from you in another sense of it. But they just understanding space. Like I said, some spaces are more draining than others. Some spaces might give the same amount of wisdom, but some people may not ask for the same amount back when they give that wisdom. For instance, for me, I barely ask for donations. I would love the fucking donations. Y'all can send them hoes out. But certain people, nigga, for you to get this information that I'm giving, you have to pay for it. Like, you'll have to go to work a whole 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe even a month to save up so you can finally get the knowledge and whatever. For me, you get it for me, it's free. You don't have to put in the same amount of work to get the same amount of information. It's just to say if it was another person doing the same shit I'm doing, but he charged for his information versus me. So certain spaces may be certain beneficial in the sense of what they can give you, but what are they necessarily taking away from you too? Are they taking away your mental capacities? Are they taking away the certain things that you need to focus on? That's your drive, your goal, your purpose. And that's with understanding people. That's understanding spaces. If you got a job, if you're trying to strive and you know that's not a job that's going to be long term, but that's a stepping stone, or you need a stepping stone type of job, you're not going to go to a job that needs 12 hours out of you 7 days a week, because you can't start building for other shit because you're going to be tired. You need a job that you can do, be kind of flexible with, because you're might need to be off. Like, as a server, I can take a week or two off. They only pay me $2 a week. They can put somebody else in my shoes in a sense, and they're not necessarily going to miss me, but I can also come back type shit. Like, versus if you leave another job constantly, or you need breaks and you need fluctuation, you can't do that. So it's just certain understanding what certain spaces can help you and how they could help you mold and shape your own life. And if you're good at noticing and good at observing what you're attracting and what can help you attract certain things in your future, bro, is lethal. Like I said, if you know you need to build now, but you need a little side job, and you find that side job, that's you being understanding. Like, you might not love jobs, but you understand a small job can be beneficial for this moment and how it could be more dynamic for the long run. But it's a part 2 coming out.